Okay, so the lab which we are talking about, right? So I will give you the links and all. Okay, like for
Yeah.
computer engine, you have these many labs. For IIM, you have these many labs. For VPC and for storage, like for every session, there are few labs. And like if you are, aiming for certification, then it will be good. At least you will get some hands on it in the future. So I was just, checking and gathering all the lab links and all. So I will share this one. Planning to create. I only have, Dheeraj email address. So Bhushan, can you share yours also, so that I will be able to share this
Yeah.
PPT plus the lab link also. I will share.
Yeah. I shared on chat. Please check that.
Okay.
Arjun, you need to prepare from interview itself, huh? Make sure.
No, no. Actually, I just completed one recent certification.
No, no.
So that is
I mean,
like.
like you need to prepare us. I'm talking.
Okay, 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 okay,
Don't
okay.
consider we are like experienced persons. I mean, like both from Dheeraj also and me also. So consider as a fresher, and they
Okay,
are looking for a job. So that point of view you need to
okay,
consider.
okay, okay.
Okay, and even you make sure like so what will be the theoretical? I mean, like what will be the theory? That also you just need to note it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because the see the lab access is for 1 month, right? So that's why I am just rushing towards the lab and do as much hands-on. So after that, we can
Yeah,
go
yeah.
to the theory part. That.
We have a 2-3 lab. We have a 2-3 Gmail accounts. Not an issue with that.
Okay, okay, fine, fine then.
Huh.
So hold on a second. So yesterday, I think we stopped here, right? On the bucket side,
Yes, yes.
like we are going to the course overview. So after this, we'll quickly walk through it, and we'll go to the resource hierarchy. Then we have
Yeah, sure.
various database option in Google Cloud. We can see Cloud SQL, Bigtable,
That
BigQuery,
VPC
Cloud
and
Spanner.
firewall, I guess, not done yesterday.
Okay, okay. Oh,
It
only
was not.
till this one we did it. Okay, okay,
Yes, I remember this only.
okay, okay. So VPC we have like we will go into like how to create a VPC and inside VPC, what are the subnet and how we are going to give the firewall rules, shared VPC, and network pairing is something like let's say we have two organizations. For example, TCS.com and let's say Tata EXL, some companies there, right? I.com. So these two companies will be coming under the and let's say the same owner, we can say, so same business partner. So to communicate between these two different domains, we will be using network peering because these two will be having a different organization, right? Like
Yes, yes. Okay.
yeah. So in that case, like if in very big enterprise organization and all, like Reliance.com or Geo.com, if they are having two different domain name, and if you want to have some communication between these two, then we will be using network peering.
Okay.
And database option, like I said, we have Cloud SQL, Bigtable, BigQuery, Cloud Spanner, and Data Store. And Cloud SQL is like if you go in GCP, any experience with database?
Yes, little bit.
Which one?
That is that MySQL and then
Okay.
yes, and then Oracle 11G, 12C. That's it.
Okay, so GCP is not having Oracle. For if you
Okay.
check in the SQL part, we'll be having Okay, so if we go to prerequisites, see this GCP is having these many distribution under Cloud SQL. Like in if you check in the relational database, we are having MySQL, PostgreSQL, and SQL Server. So only these three we have when we'll compare with the relational database kind of database. When it
Okay.
comes to other database, tools database. Bigtable is something like if you are related to big data or Hadoop, if you're coming from that part of domain, then we'll be using Bigtable because this database specifically used for collecting data if the data is coming from the IoT device and all. And similar
Okay.
to BigQuery, BigQuery is also kind of SQL, we can say. It is a data warehouse. A BigQuery is also used like, for example, if you want to analyze your billing trends. Okay, I'll show you that also. Billing. So this billing thing and all, you won't be. I mean, like people like us, right, who are from the corporations or admins part, they won't be dealing with that. But it is no, good to be known.
Okay.
Reports, cost table, billing export. So if you go to billing export, there is an option like how to export data to BigQuery. So if you click this, export data to BigQuery, uh, you know, uh, so in BigQuery, your entire data will be there. So in BigQuery, something like you can filter. Like I want to let's say
Select.
select
Okay.
billing from this one,
Okay.
and I want
It's
to
showing.
give where
Hmm.
yeah where resource equal to compute engine. So I want to get the billing of only compute engine part.
Hmm.
It is something more of people who work on the finance on the account administration part, so they will be dealing with like GCP accounts or GCP finance department. So
Hmm.
and Cloud Spanner is something like if your project is related to some machine learning or data science where you will be having high intensive resources and all. So Cloud Spanner will be using because it can able to let's say auto scale or increase your database capacity in a let's say in a few minutes or few seconds of matter. And data store is something like let's say you are let's say your platform is mainly focused upon some mobile application, and for that if you need a something to store the database, then you will be using the data store part. Okay. And operation suite is yeah, operation suite is something I told you, right? Like someone was saying yesterday, like the cloud watch thing. So it is like that. So
Dheeraj.
it's using cloud monitoring and cloud logging and error reporting for that, and application performance management. It is mainly used for like latency issue. If the user is experiencing latency issue, then you can go here and you can use this cloud operation. This was
So it is
actually
all
implemented
monitoring
in.
one?
There are monitoring also. We can get logging information. Plus, you can get if something happens to the system, like let's say you can also monitor the uptime part of the system also.
Okay.
Let's say the system went down or something like that, and you will get automatically get some alert on your mail, so you can go and check on the dashboard, then you are able to see that also.
Okay.
And developer stack, so this is mainly focused upon developers. So app engine is something like you are not worrying about the platform, so you just want to write the code, and to run the code you are looking for a machine. So on that it is we are using for app engine. So are you aware of like infrastructure as a service and platform as a
No.
service?
No, that
Okay, okay.
full form only I know. I mean, like
Yeah, okay,
abbreviation
okay.
I know. That's
Yeah, yeah. So infrastructure as a
C is
service is
there. I
like
guess SAS also there, no?
yeah, that as well. Yeah. So infrastructure service is like something we are going to manage the infrastructure. So for example, we can say compute engine where we will be ownership of no, we will be taking care of what will be the operating system, what will be the size of our disk, what how many disks are going to have. So for that, that is what infrastructure as a service. Example are like compute engine, EC2, and I don't know what is the name of the VMs in Azure, maybe Azure VM or something like that. Right? And for
EC2 is a
platform
part
as a
of what
service,
it is? EC2?
EC2 is I'm referring to AWS. Like for compute
Okay.
engine, it's referred to GCP, where we can spin up Linux and Windows machine, and EC2 is similar to compute engine where we can spin up our machines.
Okay.
And platform as a service is something like we we are not going to manage like most of the part. So developer will write the code and will just write on the machine. So the machine we have an option to just select the machine. Okay, select the platform which you are going to run. We will not have any control like how many machines you are going to spin up under it, or how many CPUs will be having. So it is mainly focused on developers because developers won't be having that much knowledge or exposure to the infra background, right? So to make the thing easier, they are introduced to these services, App Engine. And Kubernetes, it is like a Docker. So you must be heard of Kubernetes, right? Docker or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Kubernetes, what,
Kubernetes,
no, I'm not aware. Sorry.
okay. So it is like mainly comes under the DevOps part. So before Kubernetes, you need to be aware of what is Docker. So I'll just explain you that. Okay. So before Docker, what is the scenario is like? Let's say uh, you know uh, Bhushan is having one system. Okay, so he has what? Let's expect like we all are developers. Okay, so you have introduced one app and Bhushan has wrote something. Okay, he has wrote some Python app, and within Python you are having something on JavaScript and develop an app, and it is run and execute successfully in your system. Okay, and Bhushan, let's say you are from development team, and after that, let's say Dheeraj is from testing team. Okay, so what you will do, you will just transfer this code to Dheeraj, and when Dheeraj is testing it, he will be getting some error. So we don't know, right? What is the problem? Whether it is a problem actually related to this code, or is there any issue related to something in the environment variable which is associated with the Bhushan system, or something related to the system which is if Dheeraj is missing in configuration in his Windows system. So we are not aware of this. So just to make things easier, what Docker has introduced is like uh, Docker will, it will package everything into one particular file, so we can transfer that into the red system. So I will give you one example of Docker file. This is like DevOps concept. I'm just making it understand. So this Docker file, it will package starting from your operating system to the environment variable to everything. So here you can see, right, from Ubuntu
Hmm.
maintainer. This is just leave it. Then run app did run everything. So it is like a complete package. You're packaging starting from the operating system dependencies to the let's say the startup script. So everything is packaged under one thing. So once this is executed in your system, okay, you'll just transfer it to the Dheeraj, and so Dheeraj can also test it. The only thing Dheeraj did is like he only need to install Docker here.
So this Docker file is nothing but the Docker image or what?
Docker, see, Ubuntu is a Docker image. You can say this is a Docker file. This whole thing is a Docker file.
Okay. So if one of the developer give me that tar file to load the image, right? Like Docker load. uh, load and that particular file. So that in that I just load the containers on that. So we just consider it's just a Docker image. Okay. So what is that image includes? So that Docker image includes this all the OS and as well as these applications and as well as the those code as a whole thing is bundled over there or what?
No, no, no. Docker image is simply your Ubuntu. Like if you check in your Docker hub, there will be image available for each and every operating system plus software. Like Docker image, if you see, Docker images.
So what nowadays I'm getting the request like our application is run on the Docker. Okay,
Okay,
so
okay,
whenever they introduce any patch, okay, so it includes this this actually image is more about the 6 gigs or 5 gigs, but it includes the patch as well. So every time if they want to just apply any application patch or something, they give me that tar file, the Docker image. I have
okay,
to
okay,
just tag that running image as a old, and I have to just load the newer one, Docker load and that particular image. Okay, so
okay, okay.
that's what I'm just telling you.
Hey,
Okay,
Dheeraj or
see,
Arjun?
you can see,
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, yeah, you can continue. Continue, Arjun. Sorry.
yeah, yeah. So here you can see alpha in there is Couchbase and BusyBox and Python everything is there. But as per my understanding, this is whole will be calling in a Docker file because this thing will be writing in something called as this will be the file name in your system if you are checking under this file name everything will be there. And I'm not aware of scenario which you told like other team will be sending a tar file or zip file and we need to create a patch.
Okay, okay,
Okay. So to manage this Docker file that you're having, just imagine like you're having some a huge number of Docker. We are using Kubernetes. I'm not worked on this Kubernetes thing because completely it is on the DevOps side. Okay, and so we are having labs and all. We can work through it if we have time. And cloud
yeah.
deployment manager is something like your automation. So have you heard about Terraform?
Terraform, yes, I just aware about that. Yeah, it's an infrastructure automation tool,
Yeah,
from
yeah,
where we can just deploy the machines and all this like a templates and yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
So
pre-configured code is there, and we can just deploy it using it. So
yeah, yeah. So Terraform is actually, we can use Terraform in AWS, Azure, GCP, like all other cloud offerings. Like every cloud we can use it. It is independent of cloud. But when it comes to GCP, we have only, deployment manager is actually specific to GCP. It is having the same functionality as Terraform, but you can use only in GCP. But if we check the same case in AWS, we have cloud formation, and if we check the Azure, I think we have ARM template. I think.
okay, okay,
Okay, so Terraform it is like cloud independent. We can
yeah,
use in any cloud resources. But when it comes to cloud deployment manager, it's only independent to only dependent to GCP.
okay. So it has
So
its own syntax and all the command language, right? Which it's
yeah, yeah, yeah,
introduced.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
everything. So this is like which I added, like how the customer is going to onboard to Google Cloud. So let's say once the deal is signed, We'll be deciding the resource hierarchy,
Hey,
how the
sorry,
IAM will be.
sorry, Arjun, one thing only, in short description, if possible, that Docker is upgradation. I mean, like this Kubernetes is upgradation of Docker. Can we say like that? Because I am not
No, no, no,
aware.
no, 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 no. To manage Docker, actually, like few years before, to manage Docker, we have a Docker Swarm. Okay, there's
Okay,
something called as Docker Swarm. Docker Swarm we used to have. And what happens, like Docker Swarm was not that much, feasible. It is like if something happens, then we need to manually, restart or resume the operations and all. So it is just an upgrade. It is from So now no one is using Docker Swarm. So we are using Kubernetes to manage Docker. Docker will still be there. Okay, Docker will be still be there in the picture.
okay,
Okay, to manage Docker, we are using Kubernetes. I mean, Kubernetes and Docker is very. It will be, let's say, another topic, even which
okay.
I
We
am
will
not
cover this, right?
completely aware.
Kubernetes.
Yeah, Kubernetes operations and all we can cover.
Okay,
But like
fine,
I said,
fine
like
then.
Kubernetes having very deep inside thing, but we will cover. No issues.
Okay,
Okay, so this is how like the customer will be onboarded to Google. What happens in the actual migration project? Like as I said, the resource hierarchy. We will be discussing like we'll be deciding what will be the organization, what will be the folders, how we are going to manage it, and IAM is like how are you going to manage your identity access management. Whether a customer is have need to have existing on-premise or customer is having is AD, then we'll be using that GCDS, or else like customer is like completely moving into Google Cloud, then we'll be using G Suite or Google Workspace or something like that. And about the networking part, like how the VPC will be configured, whether there is any requirement for network peering and something like that. And next thing is the logging and monitoring. So logging and monitoring is like I told you, right? Similar to CloudWatch, where how we are going to monitor our machines, compute engine or cloud storage or something like that. Then we have a cloud architecture. Then it depends upon all of everything. And how are we going to manage our billing? So billing will be like like every project must be allocated to a billing account. Without enabling billing, we cannot do anything, or we cannot able to create a project also. So there might be a case like all the development projects will be tagged to one billing account, or all the applications should be tagged to one billing account. So based on the organization, we'll be doing that. I mean, customer requirements. And this this is the security part of the Google Cloud. So Cloud Armor is like let's say your user is having okay, you have your company is like a global based company, and you have customers in or end users in US, or let's say North America, then Europe and Australia. So if you want to serve one specific content to North America, and one specific content to Europe, and one specific content to Australia, uh, let's say like in Independence Day, you want to Independence Day of USA, you just want to serve only one particular content to North America. For example, like Happy Independence Day, USA. Okay, so you just want to broadcast this message only to users connecting from USA. So for that, we'll be using Cloud Armor. This is just one of the functionality of Cloud Armor. So here we can, this is also called as geo-based allocation. So based on geography, we can serve the traffic, or we can modify the traffic. And another thing is like you can also this Cloud Armor will be sitting like on top of the, like once the user login. before the load balancer. So it can also act as a kind of a firewall where like it will prevent from unauthentic users who are having unauthentic authentication and something like that. And
Yeah, yeah.
security commands and
Yeah.
yeah.
Actually, I'm about to say that. Yeah, we have used the cloud armor before because we have detected that someone is trying to hack our systems in the
Okay.
Europe zone. So in that
Oh yeah.
type, we just check that which IP is hitting. So
Okay.
over
Okay.
there, we just blocked from the cloud armor. Okay, so that particular IP range we have just blocked. So yes, this is
Okay.
also,
Okay.
yeah. So this is also the, one of the situation we faced. Uh,
Yeah, and
This is
there
what.
is we can use one more scenario like suppose you are having some in a particular web server, okay, and like for in that particular project we are having a common firewall rule, okay, firewall rule, but only for this particular web server you need to uh, let's say this particular web server need to communicate with a particular IP. Okay, just 172.10.2.5 or something. Okay, so we cannot push this rule to the entire project, right? So what we can do is like we can whitelist this particular IP in Cloud Armor specific to this web server. So what happens when web server is sending traffic to this one? Since this is whitelisted, it will be served to the outside world. So it is something like whitelisting is something like we are allowing this particular IP uh, to communicate, and opposite of whitelisting is something like blacklisting. You will be going to blacklisting the IP. And identity aware proxy is like here we will be using let's say uh, you're having a web application, okay, and it does not have any IP to the, okay, no IP to the internet. Internet means public IP. This is a scenario which I'm telling. Okay, and you want users outside your organization to access this particular web application. Okay, so how will you do that? For that, we will be using IAP. Okay, so now what is IAP? It is like so if you join, see, IAP is something uh, like instead of this one signing with new email ID, IAP is something like if you have an account with Google, then you can directly access this particular app. It is like in a federated identity, we can say. Federated identity.
Okay.
So it is similar like if you are signing into some other website, then they will be asking like whether you want to sign in with Google or Facebook or Twitter. So it is something like a user need not to have authentication with this particular web application. Okay, if user is having let's say if user is registered with Google or user is registered with some other social media like Twitter or something, then he can able to access this particular web application. This is like how are you going to have connectivity to the Google Cloud? Like you have one on-premise setup. Okay, this is like I'm telling from the migration perspective, and we have a Google Cloud. So to do the migration, first need to have a connection, right? On-premise to Google Cloud. VPN will be possible, but if you are migrating like you know hundreds and 200 virtual machine, then over VPN it will be very very slow. So what are the options we are having? So one first thing is cloud interconnect. Okay, so cloud interconnect is something like let's say your on-premise setup is in Mumbai, and Google Cloud is having regions in Mumbai and Delhi, which we showed yesterday, right? So in this case, cloud interconnect is possible because cloud data, I mean customer data center and Google Cloud data center both are available at the same region. Okay, so in that particular case, cloud interconnect is possible, and it will be give bandwidth. There is some difference in bandwidth also. Like cloud interconnect is having will be giving very high bandwidth, minus partner interconnect will be giving I think almost 10 Gbps. Okay, and when we will use partner interconnects, like some example like partner interconnect issue I have faced in my project. So let's say instead of Mumbai, we are having cloud data center in Hyderabad or Mumbai, not Mumbai, Hyderabad or Bangalore. Okay, so Google Cloud is not having any region in Hyderabad and Bangalore. Okay, so here what we will do, we will be using partner interconnect. The difference is when we use partner interconnect, then there will be some third party involved. Like in my project, the third party was Airtel. Okay, we have other thing like Airtel, Verizon we are having, and I think CenturyLink also. So
Hey,
these are
just
all third party providers. Yeah,
Arjun, that first
yeah,
one, cloud interconnect is when we are using where that zone is there, then only we can use, right? That cloud interconnect.
yeah, yeah. One thing is one like one point is zone is there, and second one is like you are requiring to much higher bandwidth.
Okay,
Let's say
so
your demand is like 70 Gbps speed.
hmm,
You want 70 Gbps speed between your on-premise connectivity and the Google Cloud. So you will be using
hmm.
this one. Okay. But when it comes to cloud, like partner interconnect, your network will be going through third party, let's say third party ISPs. But in case of cloud interconnect, your data will be going to the Google Cloud ISP only.
Okay,
Like
fine,
there are
got it.
various ISP, right? Where like we have Google is major one. Then we have AT&T,
So zone we are
AT&T.
not considering that one. That one is the it
Yeah,
is not considered.
yeah, zone. Yeah, zone is also one of the part.
One of the
Zone
part,
is
but
also
it is
one of the
not. I
part.
mean, like, okay, fine.
Like yeah, but in my real-time project which I have worked, I have faced in this scenario where a data center is in Bangalore, okay, and Google Cloud region was in Mumbai. So and the requirement was like just 80 to 100 machines only. Okay, so in that part, what they've done is like Airtel was the one who came in and who did all the connections. And the
Great.
Airtel people will work with the customer and they did the connectivity and everything. And a transfer appliance, which I explained earlier, right? It is a physical device where if you request to Google, then Google will ship that device to your, let's say, your data center, and if you will, attach it,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
based on the data transfer connectivity and the data size, it will do, and after that, it will be shipped back to Google, and it will do that. Okay. Then, when it comes to cloud migration, there are different migration types we are having. So okay, so migration types are actually different. So these things and all, then they will ask in interview like them. Which migration you have done? Like we can say like I have done Google migration, AWS migration, but there also like in generic there are several migration types. For example, we have rehost, then we have replatform. We'll be going through each and every phase. This is just briefly I'm explaining.
Yeah.
Retire. There are like two or three others. Okay, one more is available. I need to check that. So rehost is something like we will be calling lift and shift migration. So as the name implies, what you are going? We are just lifting the workload from the on-premise and putting it in the Google Cloud. Nothing will be changing. I mean, the end user will not be facing anything. He might be like there will be changing in the IP address and all, but apart from that, there will be no changes when he'll see the systems. Okay, and read platform is like uh, let's say your on-premise is having some 2002 server or something, 2002 Windows server, which is very old and it is not supporting in the cloud platform. So before migrating, what we'll do, we will upgrade the system, like upgrade the OS to the latest version or 2008 or something, and after that we will do the migration. So this is like we are changing the platform of the system. Everything will be same, but we are changing the platform system. Like earlier the platform was 2002 Windows, now we are upgraded to 2008. Okay, and after that is migration. And apart from that, there is one more thing like retire. Retire is like after many assessment and everything, we came to the conclusion, right? This particular application will not be suited for cloud. So in that case, which is called as retire, I have not faced any application in my project which suits in this criteria retire. But this is also one other migration type. Okay, and what are the phases? Okay, this I want to ask. Like, for example, I want to migrate, a customer environment. So, what will be the first thing I'll be looking? Forget about the cloud part. Any idea? Like, I want to migrate all the VMs. Let's take an example like it is having a big organization,
Co-
and I want to migrate all the VMs to the cloud environment. So, before that, what I need to do?
You need to put these two network in same. I mean, like that network connectivity will be there very first.
No, no, forget about the connectivity part. Just focus on the on-premise. Like I want to, migrate all. Let's say you're having Windows and Linux machine. Okay, I want to
Yes,
migrate everything to the cloud. So first thing, what I do?
need to take a backup, initial one.
Okay, backup is fine. But first thing is like you need to take the list of systems, right? Like how many
Yes, yes,
systems
yes.
we are having in an
We need to
enterprise.
migrate. Yes,
Yeah, yeah. For big enterprise, we are not knowing, right? Like how there may be many systems which are working, which are not working, which are shut down for
yes,
many months. Okay,
yes.
so that part is called discovery phase. So in discovery phase, you will be taking. It is like a discovery phase. What we will do is like we will discover the customer environment. Okay,
Hmm.
discover the customer environment. So after this, what you will get? We will be getting an inventory
List
list.
of that. Yes,
Yeah,
inventory
inventory
will
list of
be.
all your VMs. So if you
Yes,
check the inventory list, you will be getting to know which are the system which are like I told you, right, which are having old operating system which require replatform.
yes,
Okay, we can able to filter like which are the system which is running 2002 Windows or old Linux version. So that we can do
yeah,
that, and we can also check like which are the system which are shut down for many, like which are not working for any, or like we're not like let's say like which are the system which are not using by anyone. So based on that, we can filter down the inventory list. Okay, and we can just filter down the VMs like only, let's say in I told you one scenario, like we have run this discovery phase in one of the customers environment, and we found some
hmm.
320 system 20 VMs, and out of that we just migrated 100 over, I mean maximum 100.
Okay.
Okay, so rest of that what they are doing is they are not using it, because no one is using those are old systems, or some are like a retired
Yes,
system, or some system were hosting application which are not relevant to them. So I mean the main goal of moving to cloud is like cost optimization, right? They want to reduce the
yes,
cost.
right. Yes,
Okay, And for discovery phase, like how we will discover the customer environment. So for that we have many tools. So we have BMC, and BMC is there. Then device 42. Like if you are working in a project, right? There will be
It is
specific.
that BMC and device 42 is for inventory discovering.
No, discovery phase. I have
Okay.
seen
Oh,
what
so what
device
it is?
40 BM. Yeah. So BMC is something like what I will do it like. BMC is actually a tool. Okay, it is an agent-based tool.
Okay.
So we will
Okay.
install this BMC in customer environment. Okay,
Okay.
we will install this BMC in customer environment. So
Hmm.
once the customer environment is installed, then BMC has the capability to discover all your inventory. So how you will do? Uh, we can, if you like open your BMC window, right? They will be having option like I want to list all the system which are coming under, let's say 10.5.4.0-24 subnet. So the machines which are coming under this particular subnet, right? It will list all the system. Similar to
Okay.
that, we can also filter like system which are using the port 22. Similar to, we can list all the systems who are using port 3389. So if you work in a migration project, right, there will be specific people who are working on this particular discovery phase, because this BMC device 42, these are all separate skill set. Okay, so this is actually the
Okay.
first phase. And once discovery, next is your assessment. So this is also a separate skill set. So assessment phase is like where we will assess the workload, and they will take check like whether your application or environment is cloud ready or not, like whether it is suitable
Okay.
for run in the cloud. Okay, and in assessment phase, what they will do, let's say, okay, out of 320, we have decided to move 100. So we cannot move
Hmm.
everything into cloud at a when one shot, right? We need to group it
Yes.
application wise. Okay, so we will group is
Yes.
like, okay, system A, B, C belong to one application. So these A, B, C need to be moved together. Similar to that, X, Y, Z. Okay, X, Y, Z belonging to one application, like application two. So X, Y, Z application need to be moved first. I mean, moved together. So grouping it.
Okay.
This is like grouping. How we
Hmm.
are going to group that? Okay. And assessment
Okay.
next is our migration phase. And after migration, uh, next is like something called as post migration. Not post migration. Post migration will comes in the migration phase only. Next is called as hypercare. So hypercare is something like, okay, I have done the migration, and I have handed over the system to, okay, okay, I have handed over the system to Bhushan. Okay, so in general scenario, what I have seen is like for 2 to 3 weeks, okay, you will be
It's a
checking
state
your
project.
application. Yeah, you will
Yes.
be checking your application on user connectivity, latency, everything. Okay, you will
Okay.
do all the testing. So
Hmm.
if anything happens, right, if you are experiencing some issue, then
Yes.
you will be contacting the migration team back. So they will be providing the support
Okay.
on 2 to 3 weeks. And after 2 to 3 weeks, again, if you're facing some issue, then what you need to do? You need to contact the cloud vendor. Like you will be contacting, a GCP. You will be raising a GCP health support, or AWS health support or something like that.
Hmm. Okay.
So this is just what happens in the actual migration phase. In
Hypercare is
migration,
what it is a tool again.
no, it is. We can say it is a methodology, or it is a phase
Okay.
which
Okay.
we will
Okay.
say.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
It is
Got
a
it.
phase.
Methodology.
It is a phase.
Okay.
It is just a phase.
Okay.
Like after migration, what we will do. So
And
these
that
are the things actually.
BMC tool, you will install it on each and every machine, or I mean, like it is on just a server. It just try to ping to all the machine.
Yeah, it is a server which I will install in the customer environment, and once it is installed on
Okay,
the customer environment, then it can able to
it
scan
just try
everything.
to ping. Yeah, yeah, got
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
got
yeah.
it.
Try to bring. But there will be a scenario like customer will be asking, since BMC I told you, right, we need to install it on customer environment.
Yes.
So if customer is highly checking on security things and all, then they will ask you like, okay, this is a agent installing tool. I don't trust this tool. We cannot
Okay.
install BMC and all. So those scenario will also rise. Uh,
Yes,
BMC
yes.
I have seen in projects, but device
Mm.
42 I have not seen.
Okay.
And you will be encountering, I mean, seeing a scenario like let's say discovery phase is done by Accenture, okay, one
Mm.
company, and assessment is done by some other company, and only migration won't comes to you. Okay,
Okay,
so
okay, got
these
it
are
now.
the, yeah, so these things are common here. Like migration will comes to know, and other thing is like you have this thing are every process is done by some one company, and next is like BAU support. It is like cloud operations. Like everything is moved to the
Mm.
cloud, and you are taking care of tickets or patching and everything. So this phase will comes to you.
Yes.
Okay, this phase will come to TCS. So these are the actual thing happening. And apart from that, while going through this phase, we will also discuss like, let's say everything is confirmed. Okay, we are going to do the migration and everything. So before migration, application wise, what we are going to have, we can have a application. We will have going to have a meeting with the application team to understand his application.
Okay.
Okay, application, we can say application team lead to understand the application. So there he'll be explaining like which are the systems comes under this application, what are the database, what are the like labels we need to do, and let's say is here if he's planning for any DR like disaster recovery in his application, and what are the type of load balancer he is using. Okay, so these
Huh.
things and all will be coming under that, and so it is actually a separate kind of an Excel. So that I'll be we'll be seeing that when we'll go through this application phase.
Okay.
Okay.
So we will try one VM. Is it okay, Arjun? So we will try
No,
to
no.
do a
What
my.
I'm planning is like, no.
Huh,
What
huh.
I'm planning is like before trying the VM, we cannot
Okay,
do the
okay.
discovery, then assessment phase. Okay. Okay. So what I'm planning
Uh,
is like, let's take it from the application point of view. Okay. Let's imagine we are taking one application. Okay. So
hmm.
I'll be pointing out like what are the things you need to ask the application on, because you will be having some question as a migration team, right?
Yes.
See, you are a migration team and you want to ask some questions to the application team. So we can list like what are the questions you need to ask to the app team, and app team will be also having some questions regarding the downtime. Downtime is actually comes in this space that you will be asking the app team like which
Yes,
day or
yes,
which weekend we
obviously.
need to go for the applications. So those things
Yes.
and all we can list down. Like we can discuss it kind of. I mean, I have the things, but doesn't make sense to show you as a PPT, right? If you discuss like this, then you will be also get some kind of a real time thing, right? That's what I expect.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so after this, like in my yeah, this is the lab. Okay. I have tried this lab two times. One time it worked, and one time didn't work. But we can do that. Just require some time
Okay.
here. But in this scenario, we are migrating from AWS to GCP. Okay, see, first we need
Okay.
to configure the AWS EC2 instance, then migration manage. Migration manage is something like your GCP migration tool. and
Hmm.
migrate. Okay, so like in real time, you will be installing from the marketplace, but right now we cannot do because you can see the cost is almost $100 plus. If you want to do the real time migration, then it will take so much configuration. The main thing we'll be doing is like this one, like signing into their this account. Then I'll be walking you through like what is Visualpath manager setup, what is target cloud, what is source cloud, system setup.
Hmm.
I mean the steps are same for if you're migrating from VMware to GCP also. Okay, and here is like a credential. This is a source cloud credential. AWS credential we are giving, and in AWS which region your VMs are, and cloud
Hmm.
details. So cloud provider, if you can see here, you can see the cloud extension. It is like for which project you are going to migrate. GCP is having 10 projects, right?
Yes.
Let's say GCP is having 10
Hmm.
projects, and your application wants to move to one particular project, project A. For example, next application app 2 will be moving to project B. So based on that, we can select here. So we'll be walking to do, but before this, I know I need to set up these many steps. And this will take some time. So once it is done, we can do that. But this will come under last once we go to compute engine, cloud storage, and everything.
Hmm. Fine.
Okay. So like, what are the timing you're aiming for? Like 8 to 9, or you need to extend from here also? Or?
Mm. Dheeraj, what you are saying? 8 to 9 is okay. I mean, like, need to extend or what?
Yeah, no, no, 8 to 9 is fine, right? We have to log in for
Yes, yes,
around.
Okay.
again.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So fine. Fine. Okay. Then like for 1 hour topic only, it will be fine. So tomorrow we'll go through G Cloud. We'll go through some basic G Cloud command, and then we are also having one lab, and I'll be sharing the
Okay.
PPT plus the lab link also. If you want, you can try that also. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure.
Okay.
So we are having this lab plus some basic G
So
Cloud
compute
concepts.
engine yesterday what we did that is only the compute engine, nothing apart in that.
No, compute engine is that only. But there are various things in compute engine like how to create a snapshot, how to create auto scaling, load balancing. So these
So
things will
that
come.
will come after some time. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
fine. So Arjun, one more thing. Till I mean, like how many days it will take around? Like every day 1 hour is there. So
See,
it will
I'm not
around.
sure on that because first time I am taking with Quick Labs and all. So
Okay.
this lab thing and all, I'm not sure. It is good that we are having labs.
Okay. So
But I told
previously,
you
I
right.
mean, like,
Yeah, previously I used to take with free trial only. But at that time, if you teach with free trial, then we'll not face these many scenarios. Like in lab, if we just see, we have these many scenarios. It is good only. But what
uh,
my aim is like, give as much as real time compared to just generic. If you go through here, right, like what is billing, what is compute engine, what is cloud storage, that does not
uh,
make sense, right? So, and with these things and all, I think you won't be getting in it. I mean, if you check in internet also, I think you won't be getting right. What are the questions we need to
yes,
ask for
yes.
the application team? Yeah, so my focus is that also. So we'll
Okay.
see, like if you're lagging in that part, then we quickly move to migration part first, then we'll finish and come back also. That's not an issue.
No, but
Like
still, I mean, like, how many days it will take for a whole course? Any
uh,
prediction? I mean,
mostly I think,
like 30 days,
yeah, like
40 days, 50
30,
days.
yeah, 30, 35, I'm guessing.
Okay, 30, 35
Like
days.
compute engine will take, yeah, compute engine, I think it will take 2, 3 days or 1 or 2 days.
Okay.
That depends like how we are doing the lab. Like if you are doing simultaneously, of that is also fine. Or else if you are sharing the screen and I will be getting, that is also fine. Right? It depends. Like
Okay. Fine then. So before
so,
Diwali, it will
yeah,
be done, I guess.
yeah. When is the Diwali? October?
5th of November, I guess. 5th or 4th of November.
Before that will be done. Yeah, before that will be done.
Okay. But make sure,
Yeah. Okay.
Arjun, just a heads up, like
Yeah, the interview
it
part,
will
right?
we need to cover up like interview perspective. So don't
Yeah,
consider
yeah, sure,
like
sure.
huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
sure, sure. So that's why, I was more focused on these things
Yeah.
because in
Even
interview,
you
no one will ask like what is computer engine and all that. So
yeah, that even that I am not sure. I mean like what question will be there.
yeah, yeah.
You
Okay, okay.
yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, sure. Okay then.